So now we welcome Mr. Dmitry Orlov. He holds Master of Science in Technical Physics from University in St. Petersburg. He's the general manager at BioWell company, and he's going to speak about scientific journey, health, mindset, consciousness, soul, and quantum physics interconnection. Thank you.
Oh, hello everyone. Thank you for coming and still being here. I see that somebody has not survived till the second half of the day. Like this part of audience has vanished. So thanks for those who are still here. To make it very simple, I will just tell you my story of my spiritual journey that I took by being involved in the technology that I will briefly explain, and how I ended up with the connection of all these terms that you see on the name of the presentation. Actually, well, thanks to Professor Pierluigi, I had an interesting insight. Everybody of you have heard about artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So humankind is coming to such a time when we are able to create something that is self-maintaining and can be multiplying, etc., and can work on some, solar energy, etc. So just visualize, because your mind works through visualization. So visualize such a thing. Let's think that in some ages there will be no human beings on this planet, but there will be artificial intelligence robots left after us. Not just imagine. And imagine that instead of you there's these artificial intelligence robots sitting here and discussing a topic about science and spirituality, and trying to understand where is the source of their life. Asking who has created us? Who is the... of course, we understand that we created them, but if there will be no humans around, so for them it's going to be a big question. Yeah, it's a big question, because they will be a self-thinking artificial intelligence, so they possess intelligence, so they can self-analyze and, make conclusions, etc. And they will... Who has written our source code? Yeah, because they operate the source code. You understand, it's 21st century now. Yeah? Who has made this source code? This is a God. Yeah? So for them, we will be gods. And they will be saying, no, the God is this name or another name. And who cares? Was it Pierluigi or Goran or Marco? What was the name of the actual programmer that has created the initial source code of the artificial intelligent robot? Doesn't matter. But still, it's a funny thing. It's something like we have here now. Somebody has written our source code somewhere, sometime, I don't know, and we're now sitting and trying to understand who was that. Interesting analogy. How did it all happen that my journey has started and that I'm here presenting? Well, I've been master's degree in technical physics, nothing related to actual spirituality or all this stuff, or even close to human beings. But it happened that I was just interested to do something that is more related to real life of regular people, not something super duper scientific that actually nobody knows how to apply it in life, like the last question was from the audience. So in 2007 I met Dr. Korotkov, who has made a machine that is able to measure the energy field of a human being. Well, actually nowadays it's a pretty simple machine. It looks like this, small box. I don't have time actually to demonstrate it right here, right now in these 40 minutes, because then half of the presentation will not be here. So if we will have time, and I will do the live demonstration. But this is small box where you put the finger and you can get the energy field scanned of the person. So the name of this technology you see on the screen is electrophotonic imaging of gas discharge visualization, EPI GDV. Actually, it's pretty simple one technology. It's based on Killen effect. So you just apply high voltage, like 5,000 volts, to a finger or any conductive object, actually, not a finger, and it will emit electrons that will light up the air, and we photograph this air. Like you've seen, everyone has seen the thunderstorm, same thing, but in a small box. So, and if we apply the acupuncture point concept, like you have the acupuncture points on your fingertips. So it means the emission, light emission of different parts of the fingers are somehow connected with different parts of your body. So by photographing the light of your fingertips, we can analyze the energy of different parts of your body and overall energy. So actually, not only the fingertip can be measured, you can measure like leaves, etc. So actually, it takes like a couple of minutes, and you can assess the level of health and happiness of the person, how stressed is the person, or how harmonic is the person, etc. And it takes like several seconds to do each scan. So we get this kind of image, like you see on the screen, grayscale. Like these acupuncture points that we have on the fingertips are based on the Sujok, South Korean concept. And these are the kind of images that you can see in our software. I don't have time to show the software right here, right now. By analyzing these images, we calculate different parameters, like stress level of the person, the energy of the person, and like how balanced is the person. We can even assess the like chakras alignment, etc. So many different aspects can be analyzed, overall integrity and in details. And of course, who are the main users of this technology? These are therapists, and therapists are trying to help other people. Yeah. So from that state, they somehow, like by applying different types of methods, different types of therapies, they are trying to reach this state. So they are like healing and teaching others how to live correctly, to be healthy. Yes. So by looking at what these people are doing, because I was involved in this process and I was interacting with this therapist, I have started noticing that sometimes they're very aggressive in the way they preach their way of understanding of life, etc. So the way they teach other people how to live correctly. And I was starting thinking, does it really work? Like, what they are doing, does it really work? Because in many cases I can see that doctor is doing something and there is no effect. Like, but another person is doing the same and there is effect. So there is something missing there. Like, why in one case it works and in another case it doesn't? So my inner curiosity has led me to starting to learning the most ancient knowledge on this planet, and we have lots of citations today. It's of course from Vedic, the most ancient, like these Vedic and Chinese cultures are the most ancient on this planet that has at least survived some of their manuscripts are here. So, and I came to the interesting question. So these people, all therapists, they're really interested in like changing the world, changing other people, changing your life, this life, etc. Like, come on, raise your hand. Who wants to change the world? Come on, no, raise your hand. I want. Like, let's vote. It's democracy here, yeah, in Switzerland. Daniel, it's democracy here. Yeah, let's go. Thank you. Accepted. So, and I was thinking, is it doable? So, can we really heal or help other people or not? Or is there and if we can, so what are the variables, or how can we do it in a better way? So, and me being sometimes a teacher, reading seminars and teaching other people, can I teach anyone? Because I can see that I'm saying the same words, but if I will ask each one of you what you understand after I finish the lecture, I think that there will be 35 different results. So there's something missing, my information is one, the information that you accept and digest is absolutely different sometimes. So I was curious what it depends on, and I'm a scientist. I'm really technical physics. I don't like all this, spiritual stuff that is unmeasurable for me. It's like a bomb. So I try to be very precise in what I do. So the first concept that I stumble upon is Ayurvedic. That is giving the understanding that our health has 6 levels. And the top level is the mindset. So, just to make it long story short, our mindset is like an operating system installed on this body. You have your Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 95, or Mac OS, whatever is installed there. According to this, you live. Because this is the set of laws and rules according to which you live, according to which you interact with the world. Yeah? So you have operating system, and according to this operating system, you live. And conscious only for very, very small, tiny portion. So it means we are automatic beings, not conscious beings. So we are subconscious, means, just to give you a definition, subconsciousness is the automatic programs. Computer, it has operating system. Many processes are running on background. Same you. Most of the programs in your operating system are automatic. Your habits, traits, etc. And only tiny bit is consciousness, really. Most of the time you sit here, you're floating with your mind somewhere. You're not even being present here. If I ask you what I have said 10 minutes ago, some people are sleepy even. So, we're not conscious. Another thing, we have spies in our head. And these spies are called mirror neurons. These neurons do not belong to you. These neurons do not understand what is you and not you. So, for example, me watching a person being asleep, they think that it is me sleeping. I am watching a person playing basketball. These mirror neurons think that it is me playing basketball. That's why you can learn things by not even doing them, but just by watching them. That's why you just can watch how best tennis players are playing without even ever touching the racket. Because these spies in your head will copy automatically without asking your permission. So that's why, motivation speakers, etc., these life coaches are saying, be very careful with the environment in which you live and people with which you communicate, because your mirror neurons are copying everything that you contemplate. So that's why it's very important to communicate with the proper people and live in the proper environment, So, it means we're not so conscious beings, yeah? So, but after all, what is our mindset that is controlling all this body? So, let's try to define it, because I'm very boring Russian scientist, I like definitions. So, we have to touch a little bit quantum physics. There is an experiment by Schrödinger, Schrödinger cat. It's a pretty simple one. You put a cat in the black box that is isolated completely, so you cannot see, cannot hear, cannot sense what's going on inside. So then you add one nuclear isotope there, and a sensor that can sense the emission of this isotope, and a gas bomb that will emit gas and kill the cat. So, if we put all these ingredients in the black box and close it, from the point of view of quantum physics, the time ticks, and the system is described by an equation that the system is the sum of the probabilities. From point of view of quantum physics, box is, with the cat, isotope, and sensor, etc., either it is cat is still alive and the isotope is still floating, not dissipating, and the second probability is that cat is dead and the isotope has dissipated. But you see, the magic in quantum physics is that there is a small plus there. So from point of view of quantum physics, the state of the system is 30% dead cat plus 70% live cat. And in quantum physics, it's fine. Whilst for us, being human beings, it's not fine. Because when we open the box, we cannot see 30% dead cat and 70% live. We can see only one of the probabilities. So, you either see that it's already dead or it's alive. Of course, if you repeat the experiment many times, you will find this ratio. Like you do the experiment 100 times and open the box after 5 minutes. In 30 cases, the cat will be dead, and in 70 cases, it will be alive. So then you know the ratio of this equation. But doing only one measurement, you're not able to do that. So it means being conscious. You cannot really hug the quantum reality. Being conscious, you can see only the subjective reality. That is only one probability from the eternal set of probabilities. Being conscious. So it means okay, let's visualize it, because I like everything to be simple. Being conscious is like selecting the doors, the realities in which we want to be in. So behind some of these doors the cat is dead, behind some of the doors it is alive. And we are free to decide which door to open. Yes? So it means that we are not actually changing anything, we're just selecting which one we like. And it's a very interesting conclusion that you can make from this, that actually we are not changing anything. Because just because I enter the right door, others should blow up or devastate. From point of view of the law of physics of preserving the energy, it's impossible. Just because I enter one door, others should stay there. So nothing should happen with them. So, and actually quantum physics has stumbled upon this, and there's a Copenhagen interpretation with Einstein and Heisenberg and other people were fighting about that in the beginning and mid of 20th century, and they were not able to pass through it. So, and it leads us to an understanding that we are actually not changing. There is an experiment that is showing this, that if we shoot electrons through two slits and nobody's looking at it, it will create an interference pattern on the wall. But if I will stand there and look what's going on, I'm conscious being. I understand that electron can either enter one or another slit. So if I will be watching this process, there will be no interference pattern. There will be just two lines. At the moment I turn my back there, interference pattern will appear again. What does it mean? We, by being conscious, are simplifying the quantum reality. Because we know that it is either yes or no. There is no 70% yes and 30% no. So for us it's either one slit or another. How it can be both at a time? It's impossible. How it can go somewhere in between and interact with itself? Impossible from our perspective. So let's visualize it again. Our life, this one, material life, is like walking in the maze. A big eternal labyrinth. It's all set up there. I don't care by whom. You call him Krishna, Buddha, whatever you like, Allah, Christ, whoever who has designed it, forget it. You're just walking in this maze, and it's up to you where you turn. You go right, you go left, you go straight. You cannot go through the wall, okay, because we're material beings. But still, it's all your choices. But just understand that we are not changing the maze by walking it. We're just making choices. So it's a different process. I'm Russian. Who have heard combination of word Russian hacker?
Yes.
In the mass media it's very popular. Russian hackers are hacking everything every day. Pentagon is a morning exercise for every Russian hacker. You don't get porridge if you like morning porridge if you don't hack Pentagon in the morning. So regular thing. So how to hack this reality? It's possible to hack this reality too. It's actually you're doing it without knowing it. Imagine that something, not your physical body, but something is able to fly above the maze, the labyrinth, and take a look around. Let's just imagine, visualize it. So you can look at the maze from the top. Your physical body is still there in the maze, sitting, waiting for you, for this part to return. But then this part of you returns back, and you go straight, then you turn left, then you turn right, then the second turn you left. Suddenly, you know where to go. Suddenly. You know the name of this thing. It's called inspiration, intuition. What are the names, you know? Gut feeling, etc. So it means we are all using it, actually. We just don't know how it works, in many cases. And, it's simple. Through meditation, you can access the information there, fly above the maze and get information where to go. Through dreams, you can do the same. And through altered states of consciousness, you can do the same. So, it means that some part of you is able not to be in this material place, but to enter the quantum reality, not the subjective reality. And my proposal, just to make it simple, to name it soul. So something that is not from the material 3D universe, which our meat is, but from that quantum reality, where the 30% alive and 70% dead cat is normal. So the soul is from there, and it is able to get information from there and transfer to your operation system. So it works, somehow. Like for all of you, I think so. So it means that the conclusion is that you are not actually changing anything in your life. Just relax. Just read this once again and feel the internal feeling. You don't need to change anything. Such a revelation, such a relief. Because the only thing that you need to do is to make a correct choice. When to go right, when to go left, when to proceed front. That's it. Of course, it's a little bit different task. You don't need to change, but you need to master the skill of making choices that will lead you to the needed result. And then, of course, you need to master the skill of extracting information from there where your soul is, from the eternal field of information, and then apply it in your real life. To me, this is the conclusion that I came to. So we were talking about this effect, and this effect is called resonance. What can affect you after all? So I understood that therapists are not actually changing anything. If I don't want myself to become healthy, no doctor can ever help me. If I don't want to learn, nobody can teach me. It will go here and live here. That's it. But there is a physical concept called resonance. For you to understand what is resonance, because there is a quantum universe, quantum reality in which we all live. Even here, let's make it simple, very, very simple. So imagine a big field, very big field, where everything is: flowers, bushes, trees, etc., like animals, insects, whatever. And You imagine a bee is flying above this field, and it sees a beautiful flower. It sits upon this flower and takes the nectar. Then it sees another flower, goes there, collect nectar, and it's hop off from different flowers, collecting nectar, and then it returns back to the hive and says, "Such a wonderful field I have found today, full of nectar and flowers. Let's all go there." One view. At the same moment, above the same field, a fly is flying. It can see also the flowers, but it's not so interesting for the fly. But it sees a pile of shit. Oh, such an interesting pile of shit to inspect. It sits upon this pile, inspects it, like, oh, there's another one. And then it starts traveling above all the, insects, all the animals, human, whatever, shit is left on this field. Returns back to others and say, "I have found such a marvelous field, full of shit." The interesting fact is the field doesn't change because of that. They fly above the same field at the same moment, same space, same time. But the feedback is a little bit different. Will you try to recall yourself? Do you have friends like that? Human bees and human flies. Some of them resonate with all the shit that you can find in the life, and some of them, human bees, are resonating with some only positive things. Well, usually we are not, black and white. We are somewhere in between. In some cases, we resonate with that. In other cases, but still, it's called resonance. The way this thing is tuned, these things we see. I'm tuned with the piles of manure, I will see only piles of manure. If I'm tuned, the frequency of my mindset is tuned to the nectar, I will be seeing only nectar. So that's what you do actually, and you are making choices what to do in your life according to this software. What is the marvelous thing about that? That your consciousness is an editor tool. It is a tool that makes it possible to edit the source code and change the subconscious things, automatic things. So it is your editor. Okay, it is a small process, very slow one, but it can do whatever you like. You just need to learn how to operate it. So I understood from putting all these bricks together, even me saying you giving this presentation right here, right now, I will never teach you anything. And I will never heal anyone. And I will not help any one of you, actually. Because the only person who can help you is you. And help you is you. And the only person that can help me is me. But you see, this is for modern people, it's much easier to understand. For gadget generation, everybody knows what is source code, etc., and we are all with this IT stuff. Actually, you can think that this body is like a computer on which you can install different types of software and then see how it works. Same, all any living being is also some material body on which you can install the software. Of course, on this body, you can install more sophisticated software than on the dog body, because that hardware, the body of the dog, is not so highly developed for sophisticated processors. But still, you can. More simple programs can be installed there. And that there was again a question by a professor that amoeba or bacteria doesn't know anything, or they don't have a mind. Interesting thing is that, there was a quote for these Tibetan monks that bacteria is living but has no mind. This is impossible, and I agree with that. It's impossible because there are a lot of studies, and I had the pleasure to talk with the Nobel Prize winner from Israel in bacterial sciences, who said that bacteria are pretty smart ones. they are able to reprogram their mindset according to the environmental conditions. They have their own spies that are sent to check the environment to see if there is some kind of antibiotic there. They send multiple, their hive or their communa in which they live, they send those spies and, okay, they send 1,000 and only one will still get alive, but it will return back, share the knowledge with the rest of the bacteria, and the rest of the bacteria will become immune to that antibiotic. Isn't it a mind, or what is it? Because they are able to reprogram themselves the way we are doing and interact with the world in a different way in order to survive and multiply, etc. So it means they have some kind of mind. Of course, their mindset is a little bit more simple. It doesn't have so many functions as ours. But come on, take this computer or take computer that was in 1990 and try to install Windows 10 on it. What will be the result? 0. Because hardware doesn't fit the software. Same here. This hardware is made for a specific software. So it means that the only thing that we can do, we can propose. We can share the information like I'm sharing with you. I don't know which part of my presentation will resonate with you, but those parts that will resonate, they will get somehow inbuilt into your system and maybe will reprogram your further life. So I don't need to do that. I'm just sharing information. Resonance will do all the rest of the job for me in your mind. So by doing this, I have written a book to summarize all this knowledge that is called Please Don't Change the World. You remember how many people rose their hand when I asked the question that they want to change the world? Relax. You cannot change anything. It's quantum reality where everything is, was, and will be already here. The only thing that you can select where you want to be, in which conditions you want to be. That's it. You cannot help me, ever, forever. Forget it. You can never change the whole world, because whole world is the multiplayer game. Like only young people maybe understand this multiplayer game, where there's many players at the same time playing the same thing. This world is a multiplayer game where like billions of players, and they all go towards some kind of result. That is why on this planet you can find hell and you can find paradise. And it's up to you where to go. Everything is already set up for you. Just decide where to go. So if you're interested, this book is available there on the table. If you're interested to contact me and find out anything else about this technology, there are my business cards on that table, or you can go to Amazon and see for this book. So I thank you very much for your attention. It's 38 minutes and 20 seconds. So love, peace and health and happiness to you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, do we have any questions?
Yes.
Yes. Is it your first question today, maybe?
Yep.
Or?
It's good to have questions. The worst case when there are no questions. That's a dead body.
Okay, I suggest nobody buys your book.
Cool. Great.
Because it doesn't change anything.
Yes. It changes only their personal life. If your life is nothing, then yes. But if your life matters, then it changes. Because then you will start concentrating. If you read not only the first sentence, but you read the second one, what is written down? Read, please. What's written there? What's written there? Loud. Can you read it loud? The second line.
Change the world within.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Well, then you can only change your mind, but not mine.
Yes, exactly. So it's not nothing, it's your life. So if you really want to do something with your life, buy it. If you don't, relax.
You're talking talking to me because you want to change?
No. I'm just talking here because Daniel Janin has invited me. That's the only reason. In other way, I will be sitting with my wife and kids at home and having a nice weekend.
So he changed your daily behavior?
No, not he changed. He has proposed me and I have accepted. I made my choice. He has made his choice by inviting me. I made my choice by coming here.
So that means we should make a lot of suggestions to other people.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Whatever you want.
With the hope.
Oh, no, come on. No, it will create stress in your mind. Because when you hope, you will think, how many people I can infect today with my religion or whatever. I will try to, then I will start, come on, I need to share information with you. No, this is not an aggressive thing. It is a really neutral thing. Just share.
Last question.
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes, 2.5.
Okay.
This third one is still being developed. It's partially cooked.
Okay, thank you. Another question here?
Thank you very much for a nice presentation. Personally, I like very much because it's very realistic and for the world today of multi-game, and it's a multi-game world, and it's very relevant because everyone has the choice to do for his happiness or his misery. So we can choose.
Yes.
We want to be happy or want to be miserable.
Your free will. Yes.
Exactly. So, although I'm a spiritualist, initiated in the Bhakti Yoga tradition of the Vedantic,
I'm okay. My religion is science, so.
and you are a scientist, initiated in the tradition of science. So, but in this dialogue, I find it very interesting how we can match together. Personally, I like very much this reality, because seeing today the multi-game, how the people today, they create their own reality, but they don't want to change their mindset, they don't want to change their condition. And this is actually, that's why this dialogue between science and spirituality, it's really relevant. Because some people, they're not realist, but they like to be realist in their dream. And some people, they are more realist because they want to get out of their dream and come to another reality. So, personally, I appreciate very much your talk, because I see you don't want to change me.
No.
You want to propose.
It's your free will.
Absolutely. The free will. And this is coming to the free will that we learn. And we all have independence. Everybody has independence. The cat, the dog, the elephant, and the human being. So we have our independence. According we use as independence, we get the results. This is simple.
Yes.
Mathematics also we can prove with mathematics. So it's very simple. So this is a comment. But
Thank you for your comment. Thank you, Daniel.
Because
thank you very much.
I think your presentation can help us to go deeper in ourselves, how to become more conscious or realistic with our own self, our own development.
Yeah, realistic that we're not conscious. Yeah. That we're mostly subconscious. Yeah.
Subconscious.
Yeah, and start taking care of the subconscious. Yes, and reprogram it.
And reprogram.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There is another question.
They were, he was closer. Yeah, go.
It's not a question, it's again a comment.
Oh.
Good afternoon everyone, I'm Ruby Bakshi, and I thoroughly enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Because the things that you told, I think every one of us in the room could relate to it. And it's important because when you give ideas or when you give examples that you were talking about, we all know that some of us, it's totally our choice when we have that, the field that you showed. One person likes it because it has, the bees like it because of the nectar, and the other one because it has a lot of things that some attracted to that as well.
Yes.
And same as human beings, We all have our choices. We all know a group of people who love being because they like to have gossips, they like to know how to put the other person down. And as we say, some people, they're not happy with others' happiness. They're happy with others' failures and how bad they are doing. And I could totally relate to it, and I thoroughly enjoyed how you did how you showed the similarity in terms of beads. It was very, very nice. It's totally, again, your choice, what you want to take.
That's what resonates with you right now.
Exactly. Because I'm going to speak about free will, and I was thinking of that example, and when I saw it, I'm like, wow, it's right there.
You can use it. It's not mine. It's all information filled.
What I mean is, like, that means people can resonate things which they are constantly thinking.
Yes,
totally
absolutely.
Free will,
yeah.
Whether they want in that maze to go left or right.
Can I comment on your comment? Well, actually, this is the reality that we live in. If there is no question here, you don't need an answer.
Exactly.
Because even if I give you an answer, but you don't have question, you will not resonate with it and it will pass through you. Same, have you ever read any book many times, several times? Some book.
Yeah.
Did you mention that each time you read the same book, same words, you find something new in it?
Yeah.
Why? Because there were different questions that you had in your mind when you were reading it. And that's why you resonated with different parts of this book. That's how it is. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let me just add one more thing. I have to do that. The last thing which I wanted to do, to tear down your speaking. It was an excellent presentation. I loved it. I'm just not agreeing with the first line.
I have just explained in presentation that you are not able to change. I have even given the quantum physics explanation to it. I give up.
I find myself in the middle of a series of committee discussing that, and to simplify things, there are two main meanings of this term. Consciousness is often used to indicate the autonomy of a choice. I go right or I go left. This is considered a kind of consciousness. This is completely a function of the brain, of course. But the other qualification of consciousness has absolutely nothing to do with that. The people who are discussing about consciousness, defining consciousness as the subjective feeling. So, fear, or the feeling of blue by looking at the sky, the feeling of love. This is something which pertains to the feeling and has nothing to do with decisions or brain-making activity. And the big discussion going on in this period, I can mention to you 2 or 3 meetings on that, is whether consciousness is connected with the brain, secondary to the brain or not. And one large part of scientists say no. Consciousness as the subjective feeling is not at all connected with brain and decision making. So just a clarification to me that there are 2 main meanings of this term, and this is very much abused in literature.
Yeah, thank you for this clarification.
Yeah, well, we need to give that man a word.
Yes,
he was the second one to raise his hand.
Hello? Thank you for your speech, Mr. Orlov. Was really cool. And you helped me, you changed my mind.
You made it yourself.
Yeah, but without your help it wouldn't be possible, right? So, I mean, teamwork makes dream work, right?
It's multiplayer, come on, reality.
Yeah, but basically you change the mindset and then somebody can decide for himself and then it becomes his own truth, and so basically I helped him. So that's the thing. But one thing I didn't get at the beginning, artificial intelligence, do you think that's possible or not? This part I didn't really get.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Because it's just the set of rules and laws that some system is following. Same, your body is following some rules, yes?
Yes.
It's just very complicated for you now, yeah?
Okay. Now, the point is we have many spiritual people here, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay? How many people are spiritual? Do you believe in spirituality? Okay, good, fine. So basically, what you do is you show you're from science,
Yeah.
basically, but you are much closer to spirituality than you actually want to say. That's my point of view. Because let's say I put notes at the beginning, I have to write down. So, because for me, a spirit is the aware part, which knows that it is aware. This is something you cannot compare. It is something you cannot program on hardware, software, something. So that's the spiritual part. This part which is aware that it is actually aware. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, artificial intelligence. So it's like putting a robot there and allowing it to Google on it.
Yeah.
In all circumstances.
But it will live, it will survive.
Yes,
it will not have a soul
Yeah.
operating it. It's a different story. That's why artificial intelligence will never be the same as a human being.
But this has nothing to do with spirituality, because
No.
spirituality
Of course not.
is the awareness that it is the own source of awareness, basically. So,
Yeah.
but you had this hardware and Windows 10
Well, it's simpler for you to understand it. That's it.
Example, but for me, it's kind of, let's say you're responsible, you're a spiritual being, you're responsible for your body. Okay?
Yes.
So now you take the same responsibility for an art. You are an art. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's boring.
Yeah, for me it's boring, but there are meditations,
Yes.
special meditations, when you try to connect with the tree,
Yeah.
get out of your body and just flow with the tree that is just bending on the wind.
Yes.
Where you are trying to become a tree that is just doing this. And it's a quite relaxation thing to do, just to get rid of all this noise in your mind and just to be a tree that is just floating with the wind.
Yes. So, but you mentioned as well the part of the mind.
Yes.
So when I look at me as a spiritual being, or I look at you as a spiritual being, and I want to understand what your mind is, then I think, okay, fine, let's take a you as a spiritual being, which is big. It's bigger than an arm. Depends on what is your truth, basically.
Yeah, just my software is a little bit more sophisticated. So
Yeah,
what?
But when I want to understand your software, then I say, okay, fine. So it's better to put a mind there. You can call it Windows 10, 7, or 95. I don't care. But and like this, it's easier for you to control it, because then it's a programmed solution for the body. That's why I cut spirituality and programming and mind and all these things together, because spirituality actually exists and you prove it. Actually, your speech is proving it more or less.
Yeah, well, I tried to define the soul, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're much closer than actually you want to be,
Whatever resonates with you.
That's kind of what I
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's time. It's 55 minutes.
Any other question? Yes. Yes. Please.
So Orlov, I was doing the translation, and I just want to make sure that I understood it right.
Okay.
So we have the explanation with the field. We have the reality of the flag.
Subjective reality.
Okay, subjective reality of the flag, subjective reality of the bee.
Yeah.
So the whole thing can also be perceived as a separate reality, which combines that of the flag and that
It's
of
called
the bee.
quantum reality,
That's quantum reality.
where everything is.
Excellent. So I
All the
understood.
probabilities are.
Excellent.
Actually, quantum physics works according to this understanding. There are already quantum computers. The nuclear factories are working. We're all using, like, in some countries, it's 50% of the energy produced, but thanks to nuclear factory and quantum physics working there. So it's not some theory, it's practice. So that's quantum reality, where everything is, and you are living in one of the
Quantum
subjective realities available in a wide set there.
Okay. And so that must mean that there are certain laws that govern these realities, like example with the 30 and 70%.
Yeah,
You combine
yeah.
the two on the
Somebody has designed it, yeah.
Yes.
One or multiple, I don't care actually.
But what is your understanding? How does this law come into place?
Well, actually, the same. Have you ever played any online game?
Yes.
Do you know how it works?
No.
But you're still playing.
Yes.
I don't know how this world, who has written the code for this, for this life. I don't know who is the author of this game, but I enjoy playing it. I enjoy coming, interacting with different people, with other players in this multiplayer game, and I like doing many things. You know, it's a pleasant place to be in.
Well,
And
we all don't know for real, but
I don't care who has written it.
What probability do you give? What do you think makes sense? What makes sense to you?
I like.
as a scientist?
As a scientist, I can say that if there is something it means somebody has made it. That's it. That's simple.
We have the same conclusion. You're spiritual as well.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that I'm not.
I didn't accuse you.
I just gave my view on the topic, like from my
we were
on the same page. Somebody has made it, one body, or there was a team of developers of this reality. I don't care actually. And what's the name of them? I actually, as a scientist, I don't care. I just enjoy it.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? Again, another here, okay.
Hi, my name is Leah. I'm a student. I'm from China.
Yeah.
And I just said that like artificial intelligence can never be the same as human.
No, it
But
cannot.
Is it possible that we create some artificial intelligence that is conscious and can feel?
As I give, thank you first of all for the question, but as I have given the explanation, doing some alterations, etc., in your mindset, etc., something, we are controlled, like our operator is soul. Soul is operating your body and all your operating system there. The owner of the operating system that has installed it on your body. In terms of the artificial intelligence, if you will create it, you will be the... you always know the command by which to stop that, you know, like whatever sophisticated artificial intelligence you make. So I don't think that we have ever be at the same, and it's all analogies, and I don't like to make them, you know, put the equal sign between them. It's just analogy that helps you to understand what kind of life we live. That's it. But I don't think that we will create something similar to human beings, or we will be able to create something that will be operated by some soul. But you see that source code of the many softwares and robots is something like a soul that is operating it. It's just a different reality. It's just different.
What about uploading our mind to the internet and then put them in a robot body?
Yeah.
Or like create an embryo that does not need actual.
Yeah, well, the thing is that even though you know the construction of this body, or even take a simpler one, if you create it yourself with 3D printer, will it be alive?
No, but the thing is, if you upload your mind to the internet, you're actually conscious.
Well, I have seen those movies, yeah.
No, but
The thing is that if you will be able to actually meditate, and you will be able to operate by just sitting here, you will be able to access computers on the other part of the planet. You will be able to even interact with people on the other part of the planet by just sitting here, by interacting on that soul level. That's where there is no time and space there.
Yeah.
So it's a different story.
Yeah, actually my point is that are we able to create something just like somebody created us? And then we create something...
Yeah, well, it will be just a little bit different way. Yes, of course, why not? We are like creators, but not in the same way.
Yeah, so we have decided to be co-creator of the original creator. That's our actual position. That's our
Hari Om.
Okay, time is flying like
Yes.
anything. So
Yes.
we will have other opportunities for questions at the end during the discussion. So you keep your question, write them down. And now we will have 10-minute pause for a drink. And after the pause, we will dive into music.